Radio Brockley, the UK's official #1 hospital radio station.
Hello and welcome to Brockley News, Radio Brockley's weekly show with news, interviews and information, including updates on all you need to know about what's happening in and around the hospital. I'm Alan Joyce, and tonight we hear from Sarah Wright, who is the fundraiser and the main coordinator of the SCAT Bone Cancer Trust charity based here at the RNOH. She'll be telling us about their latest fundraising events and how it's helped raise some amazing research into bone cancer. Then at 7:30, your chance to win some super Radio Brockley goodies without leaving your bed on Bedside Bingo with Neil Boyd filling in tonight. And then at 8 o'clock tonight, all your choice of tunes on the Sunday Request Show with Keith Reeve. So stay tuned to London's longest running hospital radio station. And once again, the UK's official #1 hospital radio. It is Radio Brockley. So the SCAT Bone Cancer Trust are a charity based here at the RNOH who provide support to people with bone cancer and funding groundbreaking research. I caught up with their main coordinator who came into Radio Brockley to tell us all about it. So with me now in the studio I have Sarah Wright, who is from the SCAT charity and is the fundraiser for SCAT. Very big welcome back to you, Sarah.
Hello, thank you for having me again.
Nice to have you back. Lots been going on at SCAT as ever. So firstly, let's start at the beginning. For those who don't know, tell us what SCAT stands for and what the charity does.
Sure, but before I do that, I have to say congratulations on your award for the radio station. I think you do a great job and it's excellent that you've been recognised for it.
That's very nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, so SCAT is the Skeletal Cancer Action Trust. It's based here at the RNOH, one of the charities that's based here. SCAT effectively does three things. So it funds research, it provides support for patients and their families, and aims to raise awareness of bone cancer or sarcomas. Bone cancer is very rare, I should say. It can be very aggressive. It's hard to diagnose. Sometimes a GP may only see one case of bone cancer in their whole career. And because it's hard to diagnose and because it's aggressive, it can be devastating. So at SCAT, what we do is, as I say, fund research. So we have a reputation for prime funding research projects that then go on to attract much greater funding, which is fantastic. And all of the way through a patient journey, that research comes in. So right from the work that we do around diagnosis and trying to get better at that through our genome project. We also have research into surgical procedures and improving the techniques that our surgeons are using whilst operating on these tumours. And again, through that sort of surgical research that we do a lot around trying to reduce the risk of infection. Because if you imagine, these patients have had their diagnosis, they've gone in for surgery here or wherever it might be, and they've often already had their chemotherapy or radiotherapy, so their immune systems are really low. So we have to be really careful about infection. So we've spent a lot of time researching, making sure that we reduce that risk as well. We also research into the actual prostheses that we use. We're a centre of excellence here, so the kind of things that we develop here at the RNOH will be used throughout the world. It's incredible.
Yeah, so the research is actually being done at the RNOH.
That's it, yeah. So we have most of the research is done here or between here and UCH. So a lot of the genome stuff, this is the deciphering genetic codes of that form these cancers, a better understanding of that and a better targeting the treatment. We do that between here at the RNOH and UCH as well.
Yeah, and as you say, it's doing an amazing work, not only here, but across the UK and abroad as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So we're seen as kind of world leaders, really, on what we produce here will be replicated. There's one thing that always fascinates me. One of the things that, again, we sort of kick-started the funding many years ago was the growing prosthesis. So this is something that's actually, if we found a tumour in a leg or an arm in a child, because obviously we find that this kind of cancer is often more prominent in children and young adults, and that's because their cells are growing and the nature of the cancer is aggressive. So this is a prosthesis that's actually put in place of the bone that they take out. And obviously, if you imagine, you don't want to be putting children through general anaesthetics to lengthen, put another prosthesis in and another prosthesis in. So this is actually a growing prosthesis that grows as they grow.
Wow. And
it's non-invasive. It's incredible. So these are just some of the research things that SCAT's been involved in. So SCAT, as you've said, I'm the fundraiser. I'm also the comms and admin, and
basically you are SCAT.
I'm SCAT. I do everything.
You look after everything.
But I'm really lucky to have a fantastic board of trustees. So on our board we've some of the orthopaedic surgeons that are based here. We're headed up by our chair, who is Steve Cannon, MBE. We've got Tim Briggs, who recently was awarded his CBE. Yes.
I was going to say, what an amazing year for him. He's
I know.
been awarded, So has he received his honour?
He has, and I'm promised by his wife that she will send me the pictures shortly. So as soon as I have them, I'll forward some on for you.
Who did he have it presented by?
I don't know, actually.
Really?
No, I don't. I didn't ask that. I thought the pictures would be through and I'd be able to show you them. But he was absolutely, and so well deserved. He said, he's done so much throughout his career already, but he's done so much for sarcoma patients. So we are thrilled with this recognition. We have Adrian Waddingham on our board, who has a CBE also, and he was the Sheriff of London not so long ago.
Wow.
And we also have Adrian Flanagan has been awarded her OBE. So we've, 2 CBEs, an OBE and an MBE.
It's not bad, is it?
No, we're not doing bad at all.
Bodes well for you then, really.
Exactly. It's a great board. So what we lack in actual members of staff, we make up for in MBEs, CBEs and OBEs. It's fine.
So you have a lot of people leading the research side, and you're obviously responsible for all the other parts of the charity, really, certainly all the fundraising side anyway.
That's it,
So take us through what a sort of typical month might be like for you then.
A lot of what I do would be supporting our fundraisers. So they'll come to me and say, I've got this idea to raise money for SCAT, and I'll do whatever I can to support them to do that. So I would love to sit here and talk to you about every single person that fundraises for SCAT, because I think they just do the most amazing job. But I'd certainly like to highlight a few of them. So to give you examples, there's a Sian, who's just this wonderful young girl that I actually met on jury service last year, who ended up having a connection to bone cancer that it's when two worlds collide. But she ran the London Marathon for us this year, and which is incredible. I told her everyone in London has come out to cheer her on. So I don't know whether that will have helped her round or not.
Anyone who has done any marathon has a huge amount of respect from me, because I cannot get my head around that at all.
So on the theme of marathons, it's not all marathons that people do for us, but we had a chap called Darren Hodges, and he raised money for us. He's doing a whole series of events actually over the whole of the summer, but he kick-started that with the Brighton Marathon a couple of weeks ago. And he said to me the night before, I said, good luck, and he said, look, I just want to beat my PB. And he ended up running the Brighton Marathon, and there is a hill I would like to point out.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. He ran it in 3 hours 25 minutes and beat his PB by 22 minutes.
Wow.
I know, that's incredible.
That is mad.
Like, I'm really impressed if I beat my PB by a minute, let alone 22.
20 minutes. Oh, that's incredible.
I know.
Well done.
So we've got the marathons. We've also got a lovely lady, Eileen Stoner. Her grandson Thomas was treated here at the RNOH about 9 years ago now, and she just runs tabletop stalls at church fundraisers, at village fetes. She sells little lucky dips for the kids when they come along and they pay their money and get a lucky dip, and she's hugely successful with that. So you've got Darren Hodge is aiming to raise £10,000, but you've got Eileen, who probably will raise £10,000 over her, many, many years of fundraising for us.
And that's reassuring to many of us who maybe feel that we're not quite ready to do a marathon
No,
yet.
that's exactly it.
When you've come in here before, you've had a lot of people taking on these amazing challenges, climbing mountains, doing marathons, cycling 100 miles or whatever, but actually there are many, many other ways to support SCAT.
Absolutely. We have another lady, Elaine, and if you live in the North London area at all, you have to go to one of her yoga sessions. So she runs a yoga session that she asks people to donate to SCAT. She's raised something like £8,000 over the years for us. And actually I was really fortunate. I went to one of these relaxation yoga classes earlier this year. Oh, it changed my life.
Really?
It was amazing. The only problem was I had to drive back to South London after being completely relaxed, and traffic and the way people drive at that time of night coming home. Yeah, I wasn't relaxed by the time I got home. Exactly. So it's all sorts of things. There's another chap called Fred Scott, who again is just another loyal supporter of SCAT.
We've spoken to him a couple of times.
Yeah, he's wonderful, and he recently was involved in a fundraiser for SCAT called Painting Meets Music, where there was a flute recital. As you know, he plays the piano, so he was the accompanying on the piano, and whilst painting a wonderful live canvas whilst all this music was going on. And I don't know, I'm sure you will know, Fred has written a book called One Autumn Day, and that's about surviving cancer. So it's so many different things. Some of the staff here fundraised for us. We had a lady, Anne, who cut 14 inches off of her hair and fundraised for us.
Wow.
I know.
That is brave.
It is brave.
Yeah.
It's brave. Everyone's brave in their own way.
Absolutely. So do these people come up with the ideas themselves?
Yeah, most of the time, unless I'm bullying them into something,
Right.
yes.
Okay. I was going to say, or do people come to you and say, I'd love to support, I don't really know how, and you suggest an idea, or it can happen either way?
Either way, yeah.
Right.
If someone comes along and says, I want to fundraise for SCAT, we'll find something that they can do. Definitely.
Okay.
Everyone's got something they can lend to SCAT.
And for anyone who's maybe, like, for instance, just completed the marathon, I mean, presumably there are still ways you can sponsor these people even after the event, and that's all. What's the best way of doing that? On your website?
Yeah, on our website or on Facebook. I
Okay.
post all of these things on Facebook, which is at SCAT Bone Cancer Trust. And the website is scatbonecancertrust as well.com.
Fantastic. And we'll give those out again at the end of
Perfect.
the
Yeah,
Make
that's
sure you've
great.
got a pen and paper handy and stuff. So take us through some of the fundraisers that you've got lined up then for this coming year.
So there's the Thames Bridges Trek, and that's taking part on Saturday the 8th of September. So you walk 25 kilometres from West London to East London, incorporating 16 of London's bridges.
Wow.
Iconic bridges. It's amazing. We had such a good time.
It does sound incredible, actually.
It was brilliant.
Where do you start from and to? Do you
So
remember?
we start in Putney and we end up in Southwark.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a really long way.
That is a long way.
I know. And I run anyway, so I thought, it's going to be fine. You do definitely have to do some training for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was going to say, when you describe it as a walk, it sounds, it's quite gentle. It's just been
it's just a long way. And 25 kilometres is it's just a long way.
It is a long way. So how long does that take you, roughly?
Well, I think it took us about 6 hours.
Right.
But we stopped for quite a while at lunch.
Okay.
We still enjoyed ourselves.
Right.
Fundraising, there is fun in fundraising. We have to make sure we remember that.
Yeah.
And all work hard to do that. Well, this year we've already started promoting it, and we've got 20 people. And I'd like to say that most of the people that did it last year are coming back to do it again. So that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that I would wholly recommend you get involved in. So the registration fee for that one is £40, and then you have to get a minimum sponsorship of about £150.
Okay.
But obviously we actively encourage you to raise as much as you possibly can.
Sure. So that's on the 8th of September.
That's
and what
it.
a great way to see London, if nothing else, isn't it?
It's a really good, that's exactly what it is. It's all pluses. It's brilliant. It's a really, really good day.
Did it rain when you did it?
No, well, as we crossed the finish line, it rained a little
that's
bit.
all right. Okay.
But they hand you champagne, so it's fine.
Fine. So you don't really care about
You
it
don't
at that
mind
point.
at all.
Yeah.
No, you don't mind a bit if
Fair
it
enough.
rains then.
Yeah. Okay, good.
There's the London to Brighton bike ride. Again, that's in September. That's Sunday the 16th of September. So that's your 50 miles from Clapham to Brighton. conquering the mighty Ditchling Beacon. We have a team called the New Elton Mammals that take part every year, and they are very happy for anyone who can come along and take them on for this challenge.
They sound like a fierce bunch, don't they?
They're not. One of them's my husband and my brother-in-law. They're definitely not. So the registration fee for that one is £45, and again the sponsorship level is £150.
Okay.
So they're really good. I can wholly recommend them. The London to Brighton, I will be there at the finish line, waving you in frantically. It's just a brilliant, really well organised event. And I have to say, for that one, we have lucked out with the weather. It's been beautiful sunshine. So that's, I can guarantee that. Sort of.
We'll come back to you on that one.
Yeah. So there's also the London to Paris cycle ride, and one of the sarcoma MDT team, Brandon Foster, he's going to be doing that this year. So that's on the 12th to the 16th of September. So you're cycling from our capital city to Paris, all through the beautiful English and French countryside. It's an iconic route. This is a rite of passage. It's everything you would hope it would be and more. It
sounds amazing.
Yes.
But presumably you are going to have to be quite a keen cyclist to take that one on.
You need to be keen, or you need to be willing to put in the training now.
Don't just try and rock up and do it.
Don't just turn up. And likewise, the next one, we've got a trek of the Great Wall of China. That's from the 13th to the 21st of September. September is clearly the month, isn't it, for all of these events?
Absolutely.
And that one, I mean, it just looks incredible. And I think if you're interested, there are more. I'm just giving you some of the ones that we do, but there are other things, or if there's something that you've seen or you've heard of somebody else do before, get in touch and we can find out more about it and help you work out how to do it.
So all quite physical ones, these that we've covered so
they're the organised ones.
Sure.
Yeah. So the other thing that we have is the Ellis Harriet Clark Golf Day. So I should say that the reason that I got involved with this charity well over 10 years ago is a very, very good friend of mine, Billy Clark. Her sister Ellis was diagnosed with an osteosarcoma in her leg, and she was 12 at the time of diagnosis, and she had one of the growing prostheses that I mentioned to you earlier, and we really hoped and thought that Mr. Pollock, he did everything he could really. He was a complete hero for that family. But unfortunately, just after Ellis's 16th birthday, she had spotting on her lungs, and we lost this bright and beautiful and funny and amazing young girl. But she changed all of our lives. I can't tell you how much. And I'm sort of in a job where both me and my husband and some of our friends as well, where we thought, well, I'm not really contributing much here. And then there's this little girl who has this awful diagnosis, and she didn't, she was so brave, and she instantly, her reaction to this was, how can I help other people? And she was introduced to SCAT, and she was involved in fundraising events for SCAT. And then we just had to take this legacy on. After she died, we just threw everything we had into SCAT. We wanted to do as much as we could to stop other families from going through a similar sort of thing. And Trish, who used to be the fundraiser, admin, communications, marketing and everything else, she was leaving and came along and said, would I be interested in working for the charity? And I immediately said yes. There was no hesitation. It's such an honour to work for something you feel so passionately about, and have had first-hand experience of what a great charity this is and everything that they can do to help people and more. We're constantly developing what we can do. So we've got the Ellis Harriet Golf Day on the 17th of September. That's in the golf club in Essendon, and it would be 10 years now this year that Ellis died, 10 years ago, and we really want to make this one a really big special event. So that's on the 17th of September, Monday the 17th of September. That's there's the other, looking forward to kind of other things that, as you say, aren't sort of big ways of supporting and going out and walking the Great Wall of China. We're, for the first time, I think it's the first time, I think I can say this, we're going to be producing Christmas cards.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I know.
That sounds
I know
manageable.
people aren't sending Christmas cards anymore, but we are.
That's
and
good.
And I'm going to make sure everybody buys them.
Bring back the Christmas card.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we've got a lovely supporter, Jo. She is an artist, so she's going to be designing the cards for us, and she's putting in a great deal of help for me how to put this together. So I'll be telling you more about that later in the year. And there's talk. Now, you'll remember that we did a Stars in Their Eyes event last year. Big event. Probably the biggest event the RNOH has ever seen. And I'd like to say that, there were some serious singers there.
Yeah.
And there were some people who were there to entertain us. And
very well put. Yeah.
One of the singers that was there to entertain us, and I'd just like to say she can really sing, and when I tell you what song she sang, you're going to understand. But she, I just don't think I'll ever forget or be able to relive this moment where she started singing this song, and this was Chris King. She works here at the RNOH, and she sang for us Wuthering Heights by Kate Bush.
Wow.
It was amazing. It brought the house down.
Can you ever hear this song again the same way?
No. And we also had Mr. Pollock, one of our consultants, as the Heathcliff behind a curtain. I couldn't possibly repeat what he said, but it was a great moment in my SCAT career so far.
Worth getting a DVD just for that alone.
It's on there.
How can people get hold of that, by the way?
Yeah, again, email me and I can post you a copy.
Okay.
We charge a donate. We suggest a donation rather of £10, and it's worth every penny.
It is. I have my copy. I can vouch for that. Yeah.
If you want to see a bunch of consultants, orthopedic surgeons who are seriously in control of their lives and others, dressed as women, as the Spice Girls, then you need to buy this DVD. So it was a great success, and on the back of this, I can't confirm nor deny at this point that there is a chance of a Christmas panto, a SCAT Christmas panto.
Oh, brilliant.
I know. So that's what we're working.
Yeah.
Oh yes, there is. And Professor Briggs, Tim Briggs, has already put his hand up to be Cinderella. So.
A bit too quickly by the sounds of it.
Very quickly,
yeah,
actually.
Exactly.
We didn't have to twist that arm at all. So yeah, I think I hope that all of those things just shows you that we've got an incredibly dedicated and a loyal group of supporters. It's a real community feel with this charity. So
I can tell that there's so much enthusiasm for it, and how could you not want to be involved in supporting such an amazing charity?
Exactly.
But for anyone listening who maybe feels that they want to support in other ways, and going back to maybe sort of baking cakes or more the craft type things, if they want to kind of speak to you about it again, what's the best way for them to go about that? The
best way. And it really is the best way is to email me, because I have my emails on my phone, so I can see them all week or weekend. It's no problem. And the best way to just start the conversation, email me and say, hi, I'd like to do something, and that's rnoh.scat@nhs.net.
Okay, rnoh.scat@nhs.net. Okay, brilliant. So that's the best way of getting in contact with you.
Yeah, definitely. And if you don't remember that, you can go onto the website, scatbonecancertrust.com, and there's a contact me link there. You can just click onto that, and it'll automatically email through. And then just give me your phone number, and I can give you a call, and we can go through anything. That'd be wonderful.
How much does the charity aim to raise per year to support the projects that it's doing? Yeah,
so we're really proud of how much we've raised. Over the last 10 years, we've raised 2.5 million. So that's a huge amount of money for a small charity. We aim to raise £200,000 a year. We have really minimal costs. We really don't spend much money. So truly, everything that you give goes into the charity. There's a number of ways you can support that. Obviously fundraising, but also just by signing up to the newsletter. If you just write subscribe and to that email address there that I've given you, or go through the website, if you actually just sign up to the newsletter, then you can hear all about the great things. I love putting that newsletter together.
You do an amazing job. I have my copy here, I have to say, as you can see.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely brilliant. So I would really thoroughly recommend that you do that. And I think you won't be able to help but be inspired by it once you've read it.
That's it. And I want it to be inspiring, because it should be. We have, through our... I said earlier, we have sort of the research side. We have the raising awareness, which is definitely, all about this newsletter and Facebook, and the stories of these wonderful people that we come into contact with. But also, we really do our best to try and improve lives for people who are suffering or been diagnosed with bone cancer. We have a fund called the Live Life to the Full campaign, and that's been about trying to provide upgraded limbs for children, young adults, and some adults if they apply to us, to get them back into doing everything that they were doing before they had this diagnosis. I always say, I think it must be a real double blow. You first of all, you get your diagnosis that you've got a cancer, and then you might be facing life as an amputee. So that's really, really hard. So we really try our best to try and help people through that journey and right out the other side, and help to support people, signpost, put people in touch with people like Anjani, who you can read about in our recent newsletter. She was diagnosed when she was 10 with a bone cancer. She is now just had her 20th birthday. She is such a keen sports person. She's just so inspiring. She will not let this stop her.
Brilliant. Well, make sure you get your copy of the newsletter then.
Yes, you must.
So just to reiterate, if you want to get your copy, email rnoh.scat@nhs.net and then click subscribe, or just put subscribe on there and you'll get a copy. And how many of those come out?
So we do them every quarter.
Okay.
Yeah, so and I honestly don't struggle for content. There is so much. They could be about 18 pages, I think. I have to really try and cut it down, but we've just got so much to share at this great charity. So read it. It's brilliant.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for coming back in again and sharing the amazing work that the SCAT do. You do an amazing job as well, as I always say to you. You talk about a lot of other inspiring stories, but someone's got to hold the whole thing together, and you do an amazing job on that. So well done to you.
Thank you.
Always fun having Sarah Wright at the studio doing some great work there for the SCAT charity. And don't forget, you can visit their website, scatbonecancertrust.com, for further details. And don't forget, you can listen again to Brockley News and Brockley News Extra by following the links from our website at radiobrockley.org. And we're here tomorrow night with a special Brockley News Extra at 8 o'clock tomorrow evening as well. Up next on Radio Brockley, it is Bedside Bingo, your chance to win some Radio Brockley goodies, and Neil Boyd filling in for David Rauch tonight. Good luck if you're playing along. And then at 8 o'clock tonight, all your choice of tunes on the Sunday Request Show with Keith Reeve. Brockley News returns at the same time next week. From me, Alan Joyce. Good night.